just to fuck with his ass, and they try to get rid of my road spirits. They've been trying to get rid of him and fuck with them. They've been providing barriers to block them from taking me over completely. Okay, altering me. The issue is a Marco was this. I finally got it. It's funny names. They're trying to fuck with me right now. So hopefully, like I say, I put my own soul consciousness out months before. So hopefully that helps. But with that being said, you know, from what I understand with Meghan Markle, they in my timelines where I was born on May 14, 1983, where they're trying to take me and my parents out permanently out of time. We came close to taking them out the spirit plane very recently, you know, some months ago. They were trying to set it up to where we were never born and all of that. She took a large piece of my soul consciousness, stole it, and it gets hard to try to get that shit back. I did try using my broken third eye, but I heard that it don't work. I threw my little roaches out. Like I say, I will name the shit if it's vital. I'm gonna try to get shit back. I have mentioned Zendaya Coleman's, Zendaya Marie Claire Stormer Coleman or some shit like that. She got a bunch of shit tied. Yeah, that shit stood out, but it was something else that stood out. I know they took a lot of my soul consciousness some months before. Let's see, Jacob Rothschild. Ignatius, Izabek, or some shit like that. Like I said, I'm not playing. I don't play around with these motherfuckers. I'm gonna keep this part of the recording. Same as willing. Me is willing. I didn't have a lot of space supposedly on this new phone, so I'm going to try to put this to rest. Get this. Her Samsungs are very good for protecting you from shit, you know, in the spirit plane. You can easily get one for like 100-something, 50, damn near 200 on Amazon. Try to get one. And get rid of this one. This is nice and new as it is. It's causing too many spiritual problems for me. When I did that video, they were... But anyways, I'm going to try to make it short, as succinct and sweet, as short as possible. You were fucking with my consciousness just now after releasing that. I'm going to keep that video. Just keep that part and just put it out there. I have issues with them. With that being said, a lot of them... they sound like roach attachments, like entity attachments and shit. They don't... You know, I heard some about they have, like, entity attachments of reptilians and shit that they place on Earth and other alien beings. Reminds me of how they say the Greys ain't full-fledged people, sentient beings, and have them, you know, monitor people. And but anyways, it's... They only have Meghan Markle in them. I heard she was created in 2018 using my consciousness, my mother's, Same thing with that Chase Infinity in that timeline. They getting them niggas ready for MK Ultra. The roaches were telling me the opposite, but that's what I'm picking up on. It just through common sense, because I'm hearing that the actresses and actors, they've been MK Ultra and them motherfuckers, like creating them in the astral plane to be fucking literal cyborg robotoid motherfuckers who just answer and do what they're told. E-frame motherfucker at the Giddy Villa, fucking with that Sergio Morales and the other guy. And just answer questions like with no personality, like yes, and they training y'all motherfuckers for MK Ultra to be extremely obsequious and docile and not question shit. Heard that motherfucker stole a significant part of my consciousness once before. I wanted to mention too, when I was in Manu's realm, it was 125 hertz that would get you out. I didn't mention that. I wanted to say 3517 hertz. They had Meghan Markle's consciousness that was taken from me, and that it was Pierre Holmes, Paris, and Zoe Jennings I saw. But anyways, here's what happened the other day. I had the girl that soul swapped me. You can use 808 hertz or 110 hertz combined with 000 hertz to put somebody back in their body. With that being said, the girl I got like a La Collet, La Fou, a Sejoun. I had a Sejoun. That sounds Chinese, but I don't think it was. I briefly saw it. I wanted to say Follette or La Follette or Foran or something. I know La Fouche is supposed to be a classmate of hers. I'll stay out of her. Somebody, like I said, I should took this shit seriously years ago. That's why I'm getting on it, and you know, when I get on something that's good, divert me from by fucking with my road spirit, fucking with something. But I saw La Follette, La for P. Feel like they manipulating. That's why I gotta get all this evil shit. I had them speaking through me and everything. Everybody kept saying you need an exorcism. You gotta get that shit the fuck out. Because that's the most malevolent ass shit you can have living inside of you. I'm going to say correct. I don't know. I'm going to try to come up with it. I'm going to try to see. I don't want to spend too much time because I'm falling for acting up. But anyways, she did something where she got rid of the original Baron Samedi. You know, if you know, I mentioned his real name on here, like Mark Angel Michael. He was born in Michigan, so just say their name. Try to see where they at. It's just like with Hitler. I put the thing out there with Hitler when I put the 110, 113 hertz. They stole that whole man's consciousness. They cored him out. If you're an Antichrist, you're a mini-God. They'll have like a roach attachment of you acting as you would aim the real person. That's like some taken as an entity attachment of that person's soul consciousness and shit. But 3517 hertz, that man, 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz, that man put zeros at the end, beginning, and all around. He was actually a very, very nice man. He's related in a lot of black people's timelines through Harriet Tubman. So help the guy out. Supposed to be related to me. It's depressing. Very, very, very smart man and came from nothing. But with that being said, she took a lot. My grandmother Dorothy, that's why I got the crystal at the end and all of that. The last piece of her living in it, and this broad put her in the hell realm. So 125 hertz, 3517 hertz. She say that will put her back together. 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz. She was fighting on my behalf. They even tried to change my consciousness the minute I lied down that night. I was trying to find a video of where I think Baron Samley would end up in the future if I don't do something about this, where they would have him in my consciousness, the Rothschilds and all of that, in a cage. When I lived on a PCH, there was a guy in a white hat and all of that who stood out, who showed up out of nowhere. And I was trying to find the video as well as the picture, who was telling me, just came up to me to warn me, to be careful. And I felt it was about the Mexicans fucking with me in the area because, they were fucking with black people out there. And so on my blog, I would say something about it. A lot of them call this mayates and shit. I call ice and call them wetbacks. I didn't play around. I call shit out for what it is. They got him trapped somewhere. They don't like y'all because y'all got a separate demiurge in part. But I'll say this. Your demiurge would change into a white man. So that's why a lot of them motherfuckers have problems with us. So I have a problem right back and fix that shit. And not a lot of blacks had the insight like I got about him. So I thought he was warning me about that. But turns out that was Baron Samley coming from these timelines where I fucked up. And they had him in a cage eating shit and piss, which they had my parents doing the same thing in hell realms. It's fucked up how, they were pleading for their lives. My mom speaking in the raspy voice that I heard when I would hear, I thought, chicken noises in my old apartment. Like at 637 Hauser Boulevard, apartment number 5, Los Angeles, California, 90037. I mean, I even saw her younger self, I guess entity attachments coming from this timeline after she got carved up, living inside like a black mirror or something. So, you know, a lot of things were coming from this timeline, but they had him stuck in a cage and they were telling him to show up to send a message about something they didn't like, woo, woo, woo. And they were trying to say it was an ordinary guy, but it was, I believe it was him. So, really fucked up shit will happen. You know, Prince Charles and Prince Andrew already taken them over. You know, I wanted to mention, too, Prince Andrew in his past life, he was black, and he's the most vocal. So, 3517 hertz combined with 115 hertz, them people. 115 hertz helps you find people in hard-to-find places. 3002 hertz combined with 1150 hertz, that's my perennial go-to. Helps you find people in hard-to-find places as well, get shit back. I usually use them in combined conjunction with each other to put them back as they were. But they'll put your shit back, you know, if everything else fails. Consciousness feels very thin after. The motherfucker had to close the door when I figured out the soul consciousness of the reptilian that was fucking with me, the nigga that was in that thing. Saying my phone still. I had to put the Orishas on it and the Voodoo Loas on it. Like I said, you know, being black and all that, we gotta preserve our culture. Same thing with Mexicans, y'all gotta preserve with Quetzalcoatl and all that shit. You know, Quetzalcoatl, Lalak. There's a bunch of them I'm conversing with. But as I was saying before, the motherfuckers are aliens, and they're not even the most sentient motherfuckers. I heard that Ariane de Rothschild was taking over my higher self, fucking with my grandmother Edith Stein and shit. Hopefully they didn't obliterate her. Them evil ass motherfuckers. I got 1165 hertz to get shit back, 1125 hertz. Because when they eviscerate somebody, they have their body parts all over the place. So 117 hertz should be able to do. Combined with 800, 3517 hertz. You know, I was using 2544 hertz when I'm unsure. I'm using that with Meghan Markle right now. She did something to cut off my ability to play 3.8 hertz to put myself back in. I brought that kuka, whatever the fuck they call it, tea tree oil. They keep removing parts of my consciousness right now so I can't get back my spirit team. Ariane de Rothschild right here, big old waterhead bitch. I heard she lived in Malibu, didn't like me walking around top of the evil ass fucking child eating out to smack the shit out of that bitch. I'll get her with that Jew frequency, 110 hertz combined with 113 hertz. I know Baron Samedi out of desperation was using that for a hot minute because what we dealing with. And I was working on them hoes. You know, I even saw your boy Cersei's soul consciousness change to be in trouble. Now, yeah, that helps you with your timelines and all of that. I put that together myself. I'm going to make some more today. Put a symbol, a saint on the motherfucker. It's the triangle. It actually represents duties that would be more resonating with He-Kate. 333s for me, that's good luck. I got number 8. My birth chart, that's what I was born with. I know Zendaya's was the peace symbol. But, I'm listening to these roaches say, you know, if you do this, you lose it. You know, they look at specific timelines and they just, you know, you can't really listen to them. Got Florida water in here. One aware, but it might get manipulated by this evil shit, you know. Even spiritual shit that can help you out, you know, quick with something like this, I got to be overly cognizant of. I hate it. I really fucking hate it. They were taking my frequencies, using it against me. I'm like, nah. I declare sovereignty over my body. 1248 hertz is work against y'all motherfuckers. Get my shit back. I'm not sure as to what's going on when the girl took over, who took over my body. Stole my shit. Baron Samney, I'm not even sure if I'm dealing with him. He's down to his soul consciousness, I heard. He was like, use 1248 hertz to get all your shit back. Woo. Child spirit guy was telling me some days ago, 1588 hertz to get, you know, back in my shit. My roach Spears mentioned Rusty Sealy, who was one of the people I used to watch about reptilians and all that. It's a lot deeper when I'm going. I saw that shit Shapeshift too. It's a lot deeper. I almost want to wear the Florida water, but you know they're gonna do something tricky, and I really don't want them to. You know, I like to smell good, so I'm on the tea tree oil and all of that. So you gotta wait. But with that being said, some days ago, a couple of days ago, I was trying to get my consciousness back from the broad who stole my body. I keep seeing an S. I saw an O. The Overton. I don't want to say. I don't think that's it. Overton. I mean, I don't feel I almost got his people. All the Von Chirac and shit. They real good with accuracy. But I see. Vuz Vajet. I saw a Z. I kept being told about a Z. I'm gonna find out that bitch's docs later. Cause this me being thrown out of my soul consciousness, my entire soul consciousness a couple of days ago, out of my body. This shit can't continue. I'm gonna end up dying in my motherfucking sleep dealing with this shit, you know. Try using my fucked up third eye to put myself back together. I thought I would, but the roaches would tell me, oh no, you're not. Ooh. That's why I rely on frequency. I think frequency is a lot better than the other shit, to be honest with you. Now, with that being said, a couple of days ago, I got thrown out of my fucking damn near my full consciousness, almost killing me. And I still am to this day. You can use these frequencies here to put somebody back together. 25, 44 hertz is also good as well. Add as many zeros at the end and beginning as possible. With that being said, I got thrown out of my body, out of my consciousness. So when I started trying to get it back, I was using 1248 hertz because the bitch who soul swapped me was doing something where she was stealing shit from the back of my consciousness, woo, woo, and pulling it into her. I remember when I first used it, it got rid of a part of it. I don't know. I know it was being guided by Baron Samedi and his connection to God within. And he was, you know, I don't know what's going on. Because I you know, from what I recall, like with Prince Andrew, Prince Charles, they took him over. So with that being said, I was in the process of getting my shit back. Now they told me, if you got a false higher self, I actually have one in my playlist called Frequencies to Get Rid of False Higher Self. Woo, woo. And it's a combination of 5300, 1488, 1488, 2 hertz to get your shit back. 1715 hertz, which was my perennial favorite for getting shit back. There's another frequency I got to remember that can put your ass right back together. I gotta fix that phone. I got ways to fix them lines on it. That can put your shit back. But I was in the process. They got I saw that too. They got frequencies to put your shit back. I was trying to get, there's one I know is 1945 hertz. That's a really good one. It's like with 936 hertz, goes back to 639 hertz, which Tesla was talking about. That's the building blocks for the universe. 369, damn straight fine. That's actually from my experience, the building blocks of the universe, how to build shit, the frequency for that. He was big on that, like I am, vibrations and all of that. That shit does, like somebody was saying, looks like Picasso paint. Now, with that being said, 1945 hertz is too dense. I was using 1945, I don't want to say 2 hertz, but I wonder what that does. But add as many zeros at the end and beginning and all around as possible. But there's a couple of frequencies I'm going to try to explore later on. And try to get my shit back from all this evil, wicked shit. And drive this evil, wicked shit out. So I can have my mind calm to be able to jump back in my body. Like I say, I don't think it's a very rough hurdle to overcome. I'm barely have a third eye. My shit's too compromised for me to use anything like that. So, no. Now, with that being said, even Barry Samity recommended to steer clear of that. A couple of days ago. All right. So, anyways, I was in the process. The road spirits were helping me out of getting my shit back. So all of a sudden, the Rothschilds, who I was told kicked me out of a major part of my consciousness. Mind you, I don't have any soul contracts with these motherfuckers. There's a whatchamacallit on Dr. Virtual 7 called Archon Contract Removal. You can look at it on my frequencies to use against the Illuminati, as well as my anti-Archon playlist. And that was very, very pivotal in getting my soul consciousness back from that broad, as well as getting a lot of my shit back from the Illuminati. And it was pivotal in putting me back together. Very quickly. Got all, like I say, it's a very easy thing to resolve. Kinda. There's also the Reptilian archon removal or something. Got like a red pulse in it. Video that they got, Draconian, but that one is very, very good. Archon contract removal. With that being said, they came around trying to push me and bully me out of my shit. They ain't about playing that shit today. So put prayers, 5 hertz, okay. Look out. So with that being said, $45, I don't know. I mean, with that being said, they were bullying me out of my shit. I'm going to put it down below, the link to it. Because I want them niggas out. I'm not playing around. I want that bitch out of my body in that timeline. Really, because they zombified my parent. My parents been stuck in hell realms. They had them stuck in New Hampshire. They Rothschilds here. Where they get cut up and all of that now. So anyways, they did something. One of the reptilian motherfuckers, the one I mentioned, the soul consciousness. I'm trying to think of what his name is. I almost want to say Mag, but it's something else. I saved what his name was. Reptilian entity attachment. Baron Samity, it's XYZ man to the man in church. It's some weird ass shit. Roaches were telling me last night, they were like, trying to, because they can't really say it outright. They keep taking out my consciousness right now as I talk. Now, with that being said, last night, they came to me. So the other night, from what I understand, they looked at me and they were like, she ain't useful, woo, woo, woo. She don't like, we can't use her. Anything. Let's just get rid of her, woo, woo, woo. And it's like, nigga, bitch, I always say Satan is Jesus and, the beast and all that when you read it. That motherfucker's supposed to go against that shit because it's evil. And they trying to give it to a motherfucker that will sell out and work with them. Zendaya Coleman in that time. Under the archon removal frequencies, I remember using one of them from Virtual 7 to break their contracts, and that shit was really good, and I think that's in it. But it's a Alpha Draconis Draco Reptilian frequency breaker. It's that one. Altona is a very good resource. He puts a lot of frequencies out there to get rid of the archons, and that's exactly what you're dealing with. One of the babies up there was telling me a 2112. I don't know. I saw that with him. I'm like I said, I don't want to deal with them. I don't contract with them. Like the Roach Atlas aliens, I've been trying to rebuild them. 117 hertz come out with 800 hertz. Hopefully they didn't fuck them up. Use 694, 695, 181 hertz at as many zeros at the end, the beginning, and all around as possible. At one point they eviscerated my spirit team. To the point of that, like I say, this shit is going somewhere. So, I heard this they keep connecting Hathor and Hecate's head to Zendaya Coleman and shit, and they keep trying to make her the beast in that timeline. I heard she looked like The Rock. They're trying to change, they're putting y'all under mind control and changing the beauty standards and shit, and like I say, they like when they move people towards Kardashev level societies, they don't do the shit that they doing. Latasha Harlins, they come from them type of societies. I heard she come into these timelines, they like mind control. When she saw her past life relatives here run up on her, she was like, they came up to her talking like me, how I would talk. How people think idiots think I do. Hey man, what's up? Woo, woo, woo. Hey dude, what's up? Woo, woo. I would say, hey man, how you doing, bro? Woo, woo. And so they're using me and them road spirits to put y'all under mind control in that timeline. I heard they got advanced shit and all of that, and music that's supposed to simulate frequency. Lil Wayne started from stealing from me. I actually saw him a while back. They got him acting as my highest self. He ain't supposed to exist because his mama, female ancestor, was an escape me from the demi.